Our second question comes from Brian Jenner Easy Rider. Easy Rider says, "Yo Wolf." Like, "Yo Wolf," like he knows me. "Yo Wolf. I was recently watching a YouTube channel and the host spoke of a Last Dragon remake that was in the works with Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan and Samuel Jackson to take over as Sho'nuff. Have you heard this rumor? What are your thoughts? Here's the link." Uh, Thank you, Easy Rider, for the question. Um, so I have actually heard this story, but I think you have some things confused. Um, that actually came from a channel that I watch from time to time, uh, Just My Opinion Reviews, hosted by Brandon Keith Avery. It's a good brother. Check out his channel if you haven't seen it already. I think what he was doing, actually, he was not saying that he was not. So you're getting two things mixed up. So there was a report that came from Entertainment Weekly. This was back in the day, back in, like, man, either 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere back then, that Samuel Jackson had signed on for a remake, right? I think that article has since been deleted, and turns out that it wasn't actually true. So I think that's what he was referring to, and I think I've seen this video. He pulls up the article, and then he just kind of talks about it, right? And then I think what Brandon was doing, also in under the vein of wish casting, he was wishing, because he had heard that Michael B. Jordan was a big fan of, like, anime and martial arts movies and stuff like that. And so he was kind of just wish casting that Michael B. Jordan and Brian Coogler would be involved in a remake. And he was just asking his subscribers and the people who were watching the video, like, kind of, what do you think about that? So we have done that before too. We've done wish casting on this channel, like when we were talking about Tarantino possibly doing a Enter the Dragon remake. By the way, no. But so you kind of got things a little bit mixed up there, which that's cool. We're here to clear things up, no problem. So my man Brandon over at Just My Opinion Reviews, he was just supposing, and he was just going back in time and looking at an article from, I'm pretty sure it was Entertainment Weekly, and it was saying that Samuel Jackson. So mind you, this is like 2010 or something like that. So that's like 15 years ago. So Samuel Jackson was younger than he was Nick Fury from the Avengers young, right? So he probably could have pulled it off. Well, by the way, let's have the discussion. I mean, since we're here, what do I think about that? Because that was your original question. Your question was, what are my thoughts? So obviously, Sam Jackson will be taking over the role that Julius Carey, rest in peace, has now made famous, right? Sho'nuff. Julius Carey, for those of you that don't know, lost his battle to pancreatic cancer, if I'm not mistaken. And so, he's no longer with us. I think, though, that Julius would be happy with Samuel Jackson playing the role. Personally, I like where your head's at. I like where people's heads are at, but I think that the role probably would have come a little too late for Sam Jackson, because he still is a bit long in the tooth. Even back in 2010, I have to do some research and find out how old Samuel Jackson is, but he's pretty old. So even back in 2010, he might have been too old to play Sho'nuff, especially if you're talking about doing like fight sequences and things of that nature. But the character, I can't think of anybody more qualified. The one thing though is that if you watch Last Dragon, and if you haven't watched The Last Dragon, shame on you because it's fantastic. Uh, the one thing I do know about that movie is that Julius Carey, his character, sure enough, does not curse. He says things like, jive turkey, sucker, like that. But I don't recall. I think the movie was PG-13. I don't recall him using like foul language, like cursing. And so one of the things you will want to hear if you got Sam Jackson, right? You gotta have him curse, right? Yeah, I beat Leroy and I hope he burns in hell. Like you want that. You want that you would want to see that in the movie. So but I like this line of thinking, but I don't know. I haven't had the opportunity to meet with Taimak. I am actually going to the Urban Action Showcase this fall, and hopefully I get to talk to him. There's a question I would like to ask him. Like, I would really love to know, and he's probably answered this question 1,000 times. Why there was not a sequel? In my personal opinion, that movie was the perfect launching vehicle to what would have been a fantastic career. Now, I'm not crapping on the guy. Just saying I can't think of any other movies that he was in aside from Last Dragon. And so there has to be a reason. There has to be a solid, legitimate reason that it's not out there, because I haven't heard it. And I think I probably would have. I would like to know why there was never a sequel. That's interesting. Now, I know, obviously, some of the cast has passed away. Obviously, Vanity passed away. I forget the young man's name who plays Timok's brother, who plays Leroy's brother in the movie. I believe he also passed away, but I'm not sure why. So, obviously, you could, but I think he passed away. He was like 41. So, I mean, I think you could have done a sequel within, 5 years of The Last Dragon leaving the theaters. You could have done one within that time frame, because I think at that time everyone was still around. So I do find it a little bit interesting that they never did one, and I would love to ask Taimak why that was. I don't know if he'll answer, but I would love to ask that question. The other part of the conversation that Easy Rider brings up about Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler doing a remake is something that I'm a firm believer in. And I've said this now since we started this channel 2 years ago. The question has come up about an Enter the Dragon remake and a Five Deadly Venoms remake. And my answer remains the same. It would have to be done right. I personally liked the charm that Taimak displays in that movie. This kind of earnestness, this kind of naivete about the real world that he lived in. He kind of lived in the bubble of Bruce Lee. He ate popcorn with chopsticks and stuff like that. So I don't know if Michael B could pull that off, because Michael B's got a lot of riz, right? And so I don't know if that's something that they could pull off. But my feeling is that I would don't do it as a cash grab, right? Don't do it as a cash grab. So I think it's okay. Some people say, well, what's the problem if we do a remake? The old one is still there for you to love and enjoy. And there's some merit to that. However, some things should just be left alone, right? Like Cecil B. DeMille's 10 Commandments. Why, with Charlton Heston, why redo that, right? Just so you can have some new special effects, right? Why remake that? Why remake The Godfather, right? I don't see any value in it. It's a perfect movie. It's a fantastic movie as is. What value will you add to it, right? The only thing that you probably could add to a new Last Dragon remake is better martial arts, maybe. because the martial arts was kind of, it was a little cheesy, but I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, I don't think I think I also think that Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler as a duo, you know, producing with the wins they've had in movies like Sinners and obviously Black Panther. I think they're above that. I think they're above that. I think that Last Dragon lends itself a little bit more to comedy, more so. So I don't know. Personally, I would not like to see it remade. That's how I really feel. I really would not like to see it remade. Unless you're gonna do like, you know, Timok, bring Timok back, and now he's older, and now he has a son, and his son is corny. Maybe. And I don't know. I don't. Even as I'm saying it, sounds like direct to DVD. Well, I don't know. But it's a great question, so I appreciate it, Easy Rider. The question really is, what do you all think? So why don't you comment below and let us know. Leave a comment and tell us, what do you think about the idea of Sam Jackson playing Sho'nuff, or the idea of Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler doing a remake of the movie, an altogether remake, reboot, if you will. Let us know in the comments, okay? Let's move on to the next question. Let's go!